Hello and welcome to the Homeschool Oklahoma podcast. I'm Jonathan Bartlett, and today I caught up with the director of Courtyard Theatre, Caroline Frame, at a local coffee shop to talk about her work with homeschool students in the theater arts, as well as their upcoming play, Curtains. So today I'm talking with Caroline Frame, the head of Courtyard Theatre. She's got a new play coming out. Why don't you introduce yourself to us and a little bit about Courtyard Theatre?
Well, I'm Caroline Frame. I'm the head of Courtyard Theatre. We're based right here in Broken Arrow, and we have a show coming up April 17th and 18th. It's Curtains, the school edition, and we'll be performing at the Broken Arrow Performing Arts Center at 7 p.m. Tickets will go on sale this Friday, and it's a wonderful show. It's kind of got that classic old school Broadway feel and a little whodunit mystery thrown in there. It's a lot of fun.
That's awesome. Just as a note, tickets will probably be on sale by the time
this podcast comes out. Okay.
Podcast comes out. So anyway, just a note to anyone listening, you can probably get tickets right now.
Okay, great.
So tell me a little bit about the program. How long has it been going on?
So we are in our 13th year.
Wow.
I know.
That's amazing.
13th year of doing theater here in Tulsa. And it started as just me seeing a lack of opportunities for homeschoolers. And I had a good friend who at the time was the head of the theater department at Union. And I was kind of bemoaning the fact that, man, I wish my kids could be involved in such an amazing program like Union had. And he said, well, you should just start your own. And at the time, I felt super inadequate. I have a degree from ORU in music, but I didn't really know much about starting a brand new theater program. And he said, just do it. And he came alongside me, really helped me out with kind of understanding licensing processes and helped me with costume and set. And that was our first program we put on. We did an improv show, and then the following year we did Into the Woods Junior, which by Stephen Sondheim, and so kind of jumped in the deep end right away.
Yeah. So what's it like starting a new program from scratch?
You make a lot of mistakes, as I did, but overall, I think if you have a community as amazing as I did, the homeschooling community here in the Tulsa and Broken Arrow area really just believed in what we were doing, and we're incredibly involved in the children from everything from memorizing their lines to helping procure costumes. I didn't really start Courtyard. I would say the homeschooling community at large started Courtyard, and it just grew from there. There's a huge learning curve, but for me, it was just taking each day, each problem as it was, and not looking too far down the road and just being present in the moment. And it all kind of worked out.
So what are some of your favorite shows throughout the years?
Oh man, that's like asking what's your favorite child. It's really hard, but we did a really great production of Bright Star. It is a beautiful bluegrass-based musical by Steve Martin and Edie Bickel, and it was really beautiful. The story just really touched my heart, and it's still one of the things I'm most proud of. And then one of my good friends, Friedel Gamreth, wrote an amazing play, and it was original, and it was really fun exploring new characters. He's from Austria, so kind of learning a little bit about different types of humor and how humor is translated in different cultures. And so that was a really fun moment as well. Yeah,
well, that's awesome. So tell me about the development of your students throughout the years.
Well, when we started out, we had, I think we had 12 students when we first started out. And most of them I was familiar with through church. At the time, I was at Believers Church, and we knew each other. And we just got together, and honestly, we played theater games, and we explored what it was like to build a character and to develop stories. And I feel like every child is innately a storyteller. And if you can play into that gift and what's in them, then anybody can act. We all love to tell stories, whether it be about what we did that day or what we're learning or imaginary stories. And translating that to stage is really natural for kids. So over the years, our program has grown. I think now, last time I looked, we're at 112 students.
Nice.
And so that includes tech and also actors and actresses. And looking at each child and recognizing everyone has the ability to share a story and just expounding on that and growing their empathy and sympathy and putting that into usable actions. And that's how you do theater. It's pretty straightforward.
That's going to take quite a crew to get all those people handled.
It absolutely does. We have an amazing team. My assistant director, Libby Rose, she's amazing. And we have a wonderful choreographer, Melody Jones. And they both have been with me for quite some time. We also have an amazing parent group that comes along and supports us. Darla Burt is our administrative help, and then my good friend Amy, she does parent communications. Our amazing tech group has now grown, and now we have an amazing couple, Joe and Anjanette Span. This year, they're heading up our tech crew and creating some pretty spectacular pieces. And to top it all off, Courtyard doesn't just stop at high school. A lot of our students go on in the entertainment industry, and some of them have chosen to come alongside us. And I have two amazing director's assistants this year, Tanner Matlock and Peyton Peavyhouse. And that is the team that we use and we need to make it all come together. It takes really a village.
Tell me a little bit more about tech, because that's one thing I think a lot of people don't realize how many non-acting roles there are in theater.
Right. So our tech program has absolutely exploded, and it started to really grow when the Cascia Hall Preparatory School, which is a private school here in Tulsa, was so incredibly gracious to allow us in their space to perform one year. And at the time, the head of the program was Jeremy and Deanna Byford, a husband and wife couple, who just had a heart for teaching kids. And they are the most amazing professionals. They now have their own lighting and design company and sound company. But they took us under their wing, and they showed us how to run a soundboard. They showed us how to write a lighting plot for a show, and some of the things that we had missed. And so that really grew us. And then we've had some amazing tech leaders in the past. A friend of mine, Dina Ransdell, who's a mom has an amazing administrative gift, but also incredibly creative, really fed into the educational side of our tech program. And then I think the thing that really launched us was my good friend Chris and Libby Rose. Libby's my assistant director. And Chris owns a production company called Noontide Productions. And right now they're based here in Tulsa, and they do design and props rental. But he just partnered with us and taught those kids. And one of my students, Maggie T, the year we did Lion King, she was so creative, and we just gave her space to create. Mm-hmm. And Chris kind of helped her a little bit with some ideas, but we literally gave her some cardboard, some glue guns, and she ended up creating one of the most artistically beautiful things that I've seen on stage in our production of Lion King, in these amazing headpieces from, Mufasa to Zazu. She created birds. The kids got together, created giant elephants that fit over one of our students who was in a wheelchair, and we were like, how do we let our friend have the most amazing theater experience? Let's make her a huge elephant, and let's build it around her wheelchair so she can be an active part in our shows. And so just being creative, and it's just really exploded since then.
Now, I actually heard that those masks went beyond just your show.
They absolutely did. We have rented them out actually across the globe, from Canada, and then most recently, I think it was last summer or the summer before last, Broken Arrow Performing Arts Center has a wonderful program called Stars on Stage, and they cater to differently abled community, and they have students come along as mentors, and they put on a production of The Lion King, and they used, I believe they used our Pumbaa and our Mufasa masks as part of their production.
Wow. So this is a project that a homeschool student did, and you just gave her the space to do it, and it's now being used across the globe in
Absolutely.
various productions. That's awesome.
Absolutely. You give kids space to create, and they will never let you down.
Mm-hmm.
That's the way I see it, and they never have. They're amazing kids.
So now I heard that you all had some recognition last year, some awards. Why don't you tell us about that?
Right. So Courtyard participates in a awards program called the Discovery Awards, hosted by Celebrity Attractions, and they search statewide for some of Oklahoma's best talent in high school theater. And we competed. We were one of the few homeschool groups that competed, but both of my students ended up winning that awards.
And who are you competing against?
We're competing against public school, private school, and I believe there was another homeschool group as well. And all of the students were absolutely amazing. The Discovery program is an amazing program, and it feeds into a larger program called the Jimmy Awards. And so actually both of Courtyard's students won.
Wow.
So they got to go and they got to spend 10 days in New York City and learn from the best of the best on Broadway. They got to learn everything from vocal technique to acting styles, even down to makeup application. And then they got to perform at the Minskoff Theater there in Broadway, sing right up there on the stage with Josh Groban and many other professionals. And Dawson Fullingham, who was our male representative, he made it into the final showcase. Sophie Rose won an award and a scholarship through that. And we were so proud. We flew down and got to watch them sing on a Broadway stage. And as a theater person, as a theater director, and as a theater mom to these kids, it was one of the most amazing moments to see them shine their light and learn so much from that experience.
So your program went from you not having any idea of what a theater program even should look like to now you have the top 2 students in the state that got to go to New York to represent all of Oklahoma.
Yeah, John, I would love to say yes because I worked hard, but honestly, and I would say this to everyone, anything good that has come from Courtyard is because we serve an amazing God, and that is my deepest belief. And the awards or any recognition that we happen to get as an organization, I just want it to be known that that is because the grace and the goodness of the Lord. And that's something that our tagline at Courtyard is work hard, tell the story, give God all the glory. And that's really what we push. And yeah, it was kind of wild. I kind of had to pinch myself a couple times.
So how do you work that into the rest of your program? How do you give God glory in the way that you operate your program and kind of on a daily basis?
Well, I wouldn't say we are overtly, telling Bible stories or in our shows are, for all intents and purposes, secular shows. We do what I feel like every Christian probably does in their daily life. We strive for excellence. We work incredibly hard, and we choose material that we believe anyone from any walk could come to and feel comfortable. We don't swear on stage. We don't do any things that I think a lot of the entertainment industry might feel more comfortable doing. We choose a different path, and we just encourage the kids in their gifts that God has given them. He's given all of us gifts and talents, and we just give them a platform to expound that. And we remind them, hey, God's chosen you with this gift of singing or acting or building or creating, and you get the opportunity here with us to shine your light bright.
That's awesome. Why don't you tell us a little bit more about Curtains coming up? Who's starring in that, and what should the audience expect?
Well, Curtains is such a fun show. It's freshmen all the way through seniors. It's a really hilarious show, and the audience should expect to be surprised and also really, it's hilarious and just really a chance to kind of forget everything in the world, leave that at the door, step into 1959 with us, and help our detective, Frank Chaffee, solve a pretty crazy murder. And what they're going to get is a wonderful evening of theater. But not only that, one of the things that kind of separates us is we have chosen from the beginning to make Courtyard more than just theater. It's a chance for the students to understand when they have an opportunity, they have a responsibility as well. And so we've chosen two organizations that we give a large portion of our proceeds to. The first organization is Gold for Kids. Gold for Kids is a pediatric research foundation started right here in Oklahoma. And what I love about them is 100% of the money that they get goes directly to finding a cure for pediatric cancer. Most cancer organizations will give 1, maybe 2% to pediatric cancer research, but Gold for Kids, that is their focus. And in Courtyard, it's kind of wild, but a lot of our students have been touched by cancer, maybe a brother or sister. We've had a couple of kids that have got to ring the bell and have battled leukemia and won. And so it's a topic that's pretty near and dear to our heart. And our other organization that we give to is One to the Other Ministries, and it's ran by Victor and Laurie Cruz, and they are absolutely an amazing couple. They, along with other service doctors, nurses, students at times, they will go into all over the world really, and share the gospel, as well as they do what I love is they provide basic medical care for the people that they're ministering to. So whether that's aspirin or doctor care where they couldn't have normally reached it, they go into those places and provide it. So we give them money and they are able to get the medical supplies that they need to share Jesus, to literally be the hands and feet. You get to go to theater and you get to help people, and I think those two things really go well together.
That's awesome. So if someone's interested in getting into theater, someone wanted to get involved, what's the next opportunity for them, and how would they do that? So
that's a great question. You can always go to our website, which is www.courtyardtheatre.org, and theater is with an R-E. It has all of our programs, our upcoming shows. But the closest thing that's happening is this summer we're offering, and it's really for anyone who's interested, I like to call it a taste of Courtyard, and we'll be offering classes to the public, and they'll be posted, but we'll be offering a dance class, awesome auditions, how to give your best audition, and an intro to theater class, and sign-ups and information will be on our website.
Awesome. Well, thanks so much for meeting with me today.
Thank you. This was really fun.
Yeah. Looking forward to the show.
Well, we hope everybody can come on out and see it.
Yep. Thank you for listening to the Homeschool Oklahoma podcast. Homeschool Oklahoma is an organization dedicated to promoting, protecting, encouraging, and equipping homeschool families across the state. Please sign up for our newsletter at hsok.org. If you'd like to further help our cause of maintaining homeschool freedoms in Oklahoma, we hope that you will consider joining with a paid membership as well. Thank you for listening.